If you want to protect your peace, preserve your boundaries, and guard your progress, just give me 5 minutes of your time today. I want to show you why it's time for you to set boundaries and standards for your life. Boundaries make you seem like you're doing too much, but in actual sense, they benefit you and they protect you, they protect your peace, they protect your sanity, and they ensure that you reach your goals, they ensure that you reach success. Because guess what? If you don't have any boundaries or guardrails for your life, anything can come in, anything can go. You're not protected, you're not covered. So boundaries are your covering. So they're really, really important. So I just want to share with you why I think it's time for you to start setting boundaries and standards in your life if you haven't done that already. All right, so let's get right into it. So first of all, boundaries protect your peace. All right, you don't have to give access to every single person. Not everyone should have full access to you. That's the truth. You can love people and still set limits. Being available to everyone or to people 24/7, it doesn't mean that you're kind. It just means you're going to get more exhausted trying to serve everybody or trying to be there for everybody or trying to be available for everybody every time. You're only going to get yourself exhausted and stressed in life. The truth is that every single relationship, whether it's professional, whether it's romantic, whether it's family, whether it's friendship, every single relationship needs clear boundaries to be able to thrive. You need to set these boundaries so that you can protect your energy, you can protect your time. If you don't have any boundaries or you don't set your limits, people are going to assume that you don't have any, and they're going to invade even when you are supposed to be doing something, even when you're supposed to be making better use of your time. People are going to assume that you don't have any. And so it starts with you sitting down and setting the boundaries that are necessary for you to protect your time, for you to protect your energy, for you to protect your value. The second reason why I think it's time for you to set boundaries is that when you set boundaries or standards for yourself, it shows that you respect yourself, or it proves that you respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself, how do you expect others to respect you? You respect yourself by setting these standards or setting these boundaries. It's not pride to choose to avoid certain things, and it's not pride to choose to dedicate your time to certain things. Don't let people trick you into thinking that you are doing too much by setting certain standards for your life. You having standards or you having boundaries means that you know your worth, you know how much you're worth, and you respect yourself enough to set those boundaries. For instance, it's not pride to say that I don't date people who play games. It's not pride to say that. It's actually a good thing because you're protecting your sanity. You're protecting yourself from people who would only come into your life to come and hurt you. Let's say you work. It's not pride to say that you don't deal with clients who disrespect your time. It just means that you respect your time and you know what you're worth, and you won't waste your time on people who don't value time. And that's a good thing. The area of friendship, maybe you set a boundary for yourself or you set a standard for yourself that you don't spend time with people who constantly drain you, or you don't engage in conversations with people who constantly drain you and don't add any value to your life, or people who just want to gossip. That's a good standard because you're protecting your your mental health first of all. And you're not engaging in just vain conversation. So you're protecting your energy, and that's an important thing to do. You need to protect your energy, you need to protect your time, you need to protect your values. When you want to be intentional, you need to pick and choose the things that you give your attention to. The third thing I'm gonna say is that boundaries are your responsibilities. No one else is responsible for creating boundaries in your life. In fact, if somebody is creating boundaries in your life, then there's a question mark there. You are totally responsible for the kind of boundaries that you create in your life. People won't always respect your boundaries because you're responsible for enforcing them. You can tell somebody that, oh, I don't drink, but there are people who would try to force you to do that. There are people who would try to force you to break your own rule, but you have to stand your ground and you have to reinforce, or you have to enforce your boundaries. I think one of the hardest things to tell people is no. Personally, I've had to learn to be more comfortable with saying no because it can be so hard. People don't like taking no. You can get into the phase of thinking, oh my, if I say no to this person, what is this person going to say about me? Is this going to change the way this person thinks about me? You can get into that phase of not saying no at your detriment. But there are things you need to say no to. You don't have to explain why you're saying no several times to somebody. You also don't have to feel guilty when you choose to have peace over the pressure that others are giving you. So it's a decision and it's a responsibility as well. You are not responsible for how other people react to your boundaries. You don't have control over that. What you have control over is how you live and how you set your own standards and how you make sure that you don't break your own rules. That's your responsibility, but you're not responsible, or you don't have control over what other people are going to say or react to the boundaries that you set. So please consider how things affect you and set the boundaries accordingly. And the fourth thing I want you to keep in mind as well is that when you lack standards, there's a lot of misalignments that goes on in your life. A lot of people are stuck in cycles that they hate because they don't have, or they haven't set a standard for how they want people to treat them, or how they want things to turn out, or where they want to go, or who they want to allow in their lives. If you don't set a standard, you're going to be faced with anything and everything can just come in and go. If you don't set a standard, you're going to accept whatever is offered because you don't have a vision in mind. And so anything that is offered to you looks like it's what you should accept, but then it's not the case. You're going to be feeling off and out of place all of the time if you don't have any standards or any boundaries. You have to prioritize having alignment over the approval of others. The approval of others should be secondary to your own alignment, to your vision, to your dreams, to your goals. Like, where are you going? What do you want in life? The standards that you set and the boundaries that you set should align with those things. A few things I want you to remember before I go. Boundaries they're not barriers. They're actually meant to protect you. They are your covering. Certain standards also give you direction, because then you know what you're going to do and what you don't do, or what you can do and what you can't do. If you know, for instance, that you are going to be a president in the next 20 years, there are certain things that you wouldn't do as a teenager, or let's say in your early 20s. But if you didn't know that, you didn't have a vision or you didn't have a goal, you had no idea where you were going to be, there are certain places that you would go that can be used against you in the near future, because in your past you weren't aware of who you were going to become. So standards are really, really essential in giving you direction and in molding you into becoming a better version of yourself. So what I want you to do after watching this video today is to reflect and ask yourself, what are the things that I need to set standards for in my life? What are some of the things that I've allowed and have brought chaos in my life? What do I need to start saying no to? I want you to ask yourself that. What do you need to start saying no to? There are things you need to start saying no to, and you have to train yourself. You have to force yourself sometimes to say no, because most people would not take no. Whenever you're saying no, you should be thinking about your growth. You should be thinking about things that benefit you. And I'm not saying this to say that you should be selfish, but there are times you need to say no, because saying yes would affect your time negatively. It would affect your energy negatively, and you need to say no to those things. You can't help other people if you are down yourself. So you need to be strong yourself. You need to build yourself. You need to grow so that you can affect other people positively. Thank you so much for watching day 26 of our 30 Days to Intentional Living series. I hope that this video blessed you. If it did, kindly give it a like. Make sure to leave a comment on what exactly blessed you in this video. If you haven't watched the previous videos, kindly go back and watch. And if you're new to this channel, I just want to say you're so welcome here. Thank you for watching this video, and please make sure to subscribe. I'll see you on day 27. Bye-bye.